FORA.tv. The world is thinking.
The National Popular Vote Bill would guarantee the White House to the presidential candidate who gets the most votes in all 50 states. And this is state legislation that has passed in the last 2 years in 21 state legislative houses in Arkansas, Colorado, North Carolina, Hawaii, Illinois, New Jersey, Maryland, Rhode Island, Vermont, and Maine. It's a legislation at the state level that has 1,200 state legislative sponsors, and it's now the law in 4 states that have 50 electoral votes. That's 20% of the 270 electoral votes that represents a majority in the Electoral College. And this bill has been endorsed by the New York Times and the Los Angeles Times and Chicago Sun-Times, Sacramento Bee, Common Cause, Fair Vote, and a large number of other entities. Now, why do we want this? Well, there's 2 problems that are major with the current system, and they both stem from this winner-take-all rule. The winner-take-all rule is a state law here in California and in 47 other states, and it says California will give all of its electoral votes to the candidate who wins the most votes inside the state of California. And what that winner-take-all rule does, first and foremost, is it disenfranchises people in 3/4 of the states. And I'm sure everyone in this room, being members of the Commonwealth Club, are especially attuned to public policy and the presidential campaign. However, your votes don't count for president. No presidential candidate has visited California except for a fundraiser. Since the convention, none have visited Texas. None will. Nobody has visited 27 states. And in fact, 3/4 of the visits so far in the campaign, and you can be sure all of the visits in the remaining 10 days, will not be to anything other than about 8 states. These are the so-called battleground states that are 58 or 50, 52, 48, 49, 51, where because of the winner-take-all rule, the candidate can win a huge block of electoral votes just by winning a mere 1 vote majority in that state. So the result is candidates don't poll in California. They don't care what you think. They don't visit California. They don't study up on the policy issues, Pacific Rim trade, high-tech, biotech, agriculture, water issues. There's no reason to pay any attention to California or Texas or Arizona or Washington or Idaho or Wyoming or Indiana or any of 36 other states, which are basically irrelevant to winning the White House. So that's the first and fundamental flaw in the current system. The other flaw is that it has elected the second-place candidate in 4 out of 55 elections. That's 1 in 14. And if you toss out the landslide elections, which are 50% of all U.S. presidential elections, it's a 1 in 7 failure rate. In addition to that, in 5 of the last 12 elections, a shift of a few thousand votes in just 1 or 2 states would have changed the outcome. For example, a shift of 60,000 votes in Ohio in 2004 would have made John Kerry president, even though he was behind by 3.5 million votes nationwide. So what does our bill do? Well, it's a state law. It's based on the fact that the states have exclusive and complete power to decide how to allocate their electoral votes. It says that the state, say Hawaii, which is one of the states that has enacted this, will give its electoral votes to the candidate who gets the most votes in all 50 states. But it doesn't take effect in Hawaii, Illinois, Maryland, and New Jersey, which are the states that have passed it so far, until states representing a majority of the Electoral College pass the identical law. And that's what we'll be working on in 2009 and 2010, which is to get up to states with 270 electoral votes. At that point, our law takes effect, and hopefully in time for the 2012 election, will guarantee at least 270 electoral votes to whichever candidate gets the most votes in all 50 states. So we'll have a nationwide popular election, And maybe in 2012, your baby may be kissed by a presidential candidate instead of babies in Ohio and Nevada.